And we are back. We're back in a beautiful interview right here on Unity Live Radio. We are going over to Atlanta, Georgia. We have with us a star. She is indeed a visionaire. She is the name Taurea Vision Avant. And of course, she is indeed a author of over 15 books. Speaking about the 10K book, Don't Go Broke Trying to Be a Business Owner, and How Not to Be a Broke Author. And these are just a few. She has been appeared on Fox, ABC, CBC, and recently TED Speaker. But I won't spell it all out. We want to hear for herself. I am speaking. I am pleased to have the Lady Vision with us today. We welcome you, Vision. How are you doing? Welcome to the Lady Tracey Show.
Thank you so much. I am doing incredible. Just super excited to be here and definitely connect with you and your listeners.
And let me say, it's my endeavor best to get you over here in Europe. But before we get to that excitement, tell us a little bit more about who you are, because I'm seeing all of these beautiful status and titles, but what am I not seeing about Vision?
Well, I mean, we always praise the blessings, or we praise, what looks to be incredible. But I believe that anytime somebody has had, an incredible journey or what looks to be awesome, there's also a journey behind that we don't necessarily
Exactly.
always get to see. And so,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, just to try to keep a long story short, I went to college. And here, just like I'm sure everywhere, college is the dream, right? You go to get that education and it's supposed to set you up to make a great income. But
Mhm.
unfortunately for my story, I wasn't in that space. I mean, I graduated and I was working at this job, barely able to really like make ends meet. And the
Mhm.
funny thing about ends, Tracy, is ends never meet, right? So if you ever
Right.
heard that saying, ends don't meet.
Right.
So trying to make ends meet, oh my gosh, it was tough.
Okay.
I here, I don't know if they have this also in Europe where you can donate plasma. And in exchange of donating plasma, you actually can make money. And
Oh
we would get in
no,
exchange.
I've
Yeah,
never heard of that.
okay. Well, we would get in exchange for the donation 20 US dollars.
Mhm.
Now, I don't know if y'all know, but 20 US dollars really don't take you far, right?
Exactly.
Uh, and so like this was my story after graduating college. I was just like, wow. So I made this major sacrifice of being a broke college student to only now be in a position where I'm still broke. And
Wow.
yeah, so it wasn't good. And so just to kind of fast forward to where was like the big paradigm shift for me, it was
Mhm.
when my father was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh.
My mother had already passed away when I was 11 years old due to cirrhosis of the liver. And
Mhm.
now I'm at work, this job that I barely can afford to even get to. And I find out that my father now has cancer. And
Okay.
for me, Tracy, that was a very pivotal moment. Not only because I'm watching who to me was like Superman now battle this disease, but also I remember at the time, like I didn't even have really the money to go see him because he was living in another state. I had to ask for permission to go see my father, even though I had an amazing boss, but still, it was just like, man, this is not the life that I want to live. And
Exactly.
so, yeah, unfortunately, God did call him home early. And well, I guess it's not early. It was on his, the time that God called him home. And when my father did pass away, I made a decision that I was going to stop being one of those people that like kind of I try everything. I wasn't really an entrepreneur. I was a tripreneur. So I was trying a lot of businesses and then quitting them
Okay.
after, 30 to 60 days. And so I moved to another state out here in the United States, Georgia. I'm sure many of you guys maybe have heard of Atlanta, Georgia.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I started on my journey. So just to kind of hurry up to where I am today, I was in an industry called network marketing, and I was able to do pretty good in it, but I still hit what I like to call that glass ceiling. And this was where I wasn't really able to recruit certain people who didn't see the industry as like real business. And I wanted to be respected, and I wanted to be able to get in certain rooms where
Mhm.
maybe my network marketing success would not take me. So I
Right.
wrote my first book. This was 2012. 10 years ago. Wow. I
Wow.
wrote my first book. And when I say Tracy, doors started opening up for me. I mean, I was getting invited to speak in so many different organizations because my book talked about success principles. I talked about goal setting. I talked about having a mentor. I talked about vision boards. And so people were like now inviting me. They was like, hey, can you come talk to us about, creating a vision board? Can you talk to us about this? And so I was like,
Wow.
wow, like I didn't realize like all this time because in my mind, for whatever reason, I always associated me writing a book with telling my story, which a lot of
Right.
people do, right? A lot of
Yes,
people think like,
yes.
okay,
A
I'm
lot
gonna
of
write my book and
autographs.
tell my
Right.
story.
Right.
And
Right.
the truth is, like, I'm like, well, I haven't met Oprah yet. I haven't met Sarah Blakely. Like, I haven't been to some of these private elite meet. Like, I have. It's not time to tell my story, right? I haven't done everything that I know I'm called to do. In fact, one of the things that I always tell people, I say, listen, the best time to tell your story is when you walk into a room of 5,000 people and everybody knows who you are. Like when they're like, oh my God, do you see? You see Taurea? Taurea just walked in. That's when you write your
Right.
story. Until then, most people don't really care about your story. You know what they care about? They want to know how to achieve one thing that you have been able to learn how to do, whether it's in business, career, relationships, wellness. It's just one thing. And
Mhm.
so for me, I think the biggest advantage that I had was because when I wrote that first book, I didn't write about my life. I wrote about success, how to have
Right.
success, right?
Right.
So fast forward today, like you said, over 15 books. I also decided that I didn't want to be in network marketing anymore. I still love the industry and what it taught me, but I wanted to become a full-time coach. And now more than 5,500, authors that we've been able to produce.
Mhm.
This has been one of the biggest blessings of my life. So I love to transform the thinking because most people, like I said, they want to write about their story, and I'm
Mhm.
really wanting to show authors how to be successful.
Right.
2019, I'll tell you, I was also in a space where I decided I wanted to also show authors how to be profitable, and
Mhm.
that's where Book Profits Club came all about.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Taria. Now, this is what drew me when I saw your book. I'm like, she's speaking about something different. I mean, you don't have, okay, I've had hundreds or probably thousands of authors on my show within the past 2 years. And I have seen the same thing over and over again. They struggle with selling their books. So when I saw you, I'm like, this one could probably even be the key for these guys, just to hear your secret or your counsel towards this marketing world. Even myself, I'm an author, and I've always seen a huge problem finding a marketer for my book, someone that I trust. So I am just excited to have you on my show, Taria. And my vision and my faith is that your business, because we'll get to the business soon, will be a door for so many authors right now, because that's what the show is about, to support and to help others like myself. So now let's get to your LLC. Tell me about this business, because you just said basically a few. We could pinpoint a few of what you said towards what you do, but what is exactly the role of your book, your business, the Book Profit Club, which is one of them. And I think I just saw the company itself, Show Your Success and Book Profits Club, right? What is this company about?
Well, yeah. So Show Your Success is a company that's I founded Show Your Success back in 2009.
Mhm.
First started off doing networking events and all types of stuff, and then we fast forwarded into becoming a full time coaching business.
Mhm.
And honestly, Tracy, like I was teaching in so many different spaces, so not just book writing, but I taught public speaking, social media, all types of stuff. But I will say one thing I've come to learn, especially about our community, is that we love to work. We are addicted to labor, and I was
Right.
too. I was doing way too much. And so when I say like back in 2019, I made a decision. Okay, Taria, you got to focus on one transformation that you can provide and really, really kill it there. That's
Mhm.
when I decided to scale and open up Book Profits Club. So Book Profits Club is a company that is underneath Show Your Success. And if I
Right.
was to give you just like my intro statement, that's what I always tell my students. I call it the intro statement. I specifically help speakers, I help coaches and network marketers to
Mhm.
produce profitable books and
Mhm.
showing them how to turn those books into $10,000 plus per month. So we first have to have the right book and then learning how to turn that book into multiple streams and teaching you about promotion, profiting, and performance. So that's what I do.
Okay, awesome. Now let me give you a little joke. A few days ago, I spoke with a marketer for my book, and the only thing she said, "Oh, I would love to help you, but I find that this is one of the most struggling part of the job." So my question to you, Taria, what is the most difficult part of being a marketer with your company? Because I mean, I've seen people tried it and they literally quit from doing it. What has kept you going on so, I mean, throughout the
So,
journey?
well, first thing is I always tell authors don't hire someone to market your book, right? So
Right?
I don't market for my clients. I teach them how to market for themselves.
Okay.
Your book is a business card. Your book is your introduction to your products and services. And
Right.
so we go then hire someone who is not passionate about, they just passionate about getting paid, okay?
Mhm,
So they're
mhm,
not passionate about your book the way you are. They're not passionate about being able to lead people to the next products and services. They're
mhm.
just going to do the tasks that you've paid for them to do, not necessarily caring if they're going to get major results. And so
Exactly.
I'm not saying not hire like a publicist or things of that nature, but
Mhm,
y'all, the first thing we must understand when we become an author, we are a business owner now. And
mhm,
as a business owner, guess what? It's your responsibility to market.
mhm.
So, with that stated, what I will tell you is what I love so much about what I do is I'm passionate about it. So I
Exactly.
wrote about a topic that I love to teach on. So
Right.
you got to make sure that you're passionate about whatever it is your topic is, being very specific.
Mhm,
One of the challenges that I have as well that I see with a lot of authors is being very emotional about like their book versus
mhm,
being emotional about the results that their book helps people to get. So if you
right.
focus more on the people, you focus more on helping people, it
Mhm.
makes your life so much more easier. But there's
Wow.
so many different marketing techniques that you can use and
Mhm,
ways that you can leverage your book to success. And
mhm.
again, all of them typically will require you, right? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So, yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Okay, so and the other exciting part of you is that you're now officially going into another round with TEDx speaking. I mean, that is awesome. Now, I won't ask you how you got there. That's your own secret. But um, knowing that you're officially on the platform to speak to others, if persons want to book you for a speaking engagement, Taria, how can they reach you? And really, of course, for all your other services.
Well, I always like to send people to my main page, which is 10kbook.com. 10K book, and that'll give you guys access to learn more about my program, my teaching sets and stuff like that. And of course, it'll connect you with me. Now, if
Mhm,
you're looking to, have me come out and speak, of course, about being a profitable author, then you always can follow me. All my social media is Vision Avant, Vision
mhm,
Avant. So it's
mhm,
not difficult to find me on any platform. I mean, I'm
mhm,
literally Vision Avant on everything from TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, even Twitch. I
mhm.
don't use Twitch, but I'm on there.
But
Okay.
you're there, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Good,
Absolutely.
beautiful, awesome. Okay, so please, I'm sorry, but leave us with one advice. You've said so
Oh
much that I
yeah.
would probably have to pay you for after this, but I wanted to leave our authors with one advice today, whomever they are, whether they're young in the business, they're thinking about writing a autobiography, or even about money. What one advice would you like to leave with these guys?
What I will tell you is this one piece of advice, guys. Um, First, I want you to think about what are people Googling.
Mhm,
Whatever they're Googling right now, they will pay for it. So
mhm,
if you know how to solve what they're Googling, that's what you need to be writing about. Now, let me give you an example. I'm gonna break this down for you. So, for example, I had a client one time who was telling me, I want to help women who are going through trauma or overcome trauma. Well, unfortunately, Tracy, for every single person that's listening to this has
mhm.
experienced trauma. That's not
Exactly.
specific enough, right? We all done went through it. I mean, whether it's from a heartbreak to losing a job to you stubbed your toe this morning, to some of us, that is traumatic. It is for me.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, what we have to learn to do, and this is where a lot of people are afraid to do because they feel like you're going to miss out on an opportunity. My
Mhm.
thing is, if you're not creating any money, why don't you try this anyways? You know what I'm saying? Like, if this
Exactly.
if you ain't getting no sales, try what I'm about to give you. So we
Exactly.
had a conversation, and she was telling me, well, what I asked her, I said, well, tell me about your life. And so she was telling me that, at a young age, she lost her mom, and then she lost her father. And then after that, she started acting out, and then her life went downhill. She got addicted to drugs, and she was locked up. And I said, whoa, whoa, wait, let's go back.
That's a
I
lot.
said, it's a lot, right? But
Right.
there was a paradigm shift. This is when
Right.
your life, when you look at things different. I said, when you lost your parents,
Mhm.
would you say that's when everything started going downhill? She said, yes. I said, let's look up the word or the phrase or the two statements or whatever, child abandonment. Tracey, there are millions, I mean, in the hundreds of millions. When you go Google child abandonment, I want to challenge everybody listening. Go Google child abandonment. Not
Mhm.
only when you Google that, you'll find hundreds of millions, and I mean like 100 million plus.
Mhm.
You'll
Right.
also go to Facebook. You'll find groups of people that are dedicated for people who have had child abandonment problems. And
Mhm.
I don't care what age you are. You could be 50, 60, 70. I have been on stages where I've shared my parents passed away, and I've had women and men as old as almost 70 years old who are like, I lost my mom. And
Right.
you would think that at that age, you're like, okay, well, the older we get, we're going to expect that, hopefully, that, our
Right.
parents, right?
Right.
But the truth is that ain't never nothing easy to get over,
It's
right?
not, no,
It's
not
not.
especially not in your old age
Come
because
on, right?
that's
And so,
difficult.
literally, if she could change it from I help people overcome trauma to I
Mhm.
help women who have dealt with child abandonment learn
Mhm.
how to love again. That
Okay.
is so specific. And if you
Exactly.
learn to niche it down, guys, I
Mhm.
promise you, more
Mhm.
people will want to read your book. They will want to
Exactly.
know about your services and your
Mm.
products, and you will have better success. And so, that's my tip to everybody listening in.
Perfectly said. Thank you so much, Taurea. This is just beautiful, and I wish I could get you back, but I'm having something in my pocket later down. But don't worry about it. I want to hear more of you because this is just too much to grab in one interview. And I will give you the chance to acknowledge a few persons who have been with you on the journey, possibly throughout your career or even your family. I don't know, but who would you like to acknowledge quickly before you
Oh
go?
Lord, Chad. Listen, I just want to acknowledge everybody that's a part of Book Profits Club. I mean, if I just say one person or two person, I've been to left somebody out, and I don't want anybody to know. On this journey, whether you have been a supporter, whether you have been someone who's bought a book, you've invested into my program. By the way, if you've ever spent money with me, know how much I appreciate you. And even to those who have been hating on your girl, because in everything you do, you're gonna have some people that's gonna hate. I appreciate y'all too. I really want people to win. I mean, if you're hating on
Exactly.
me, I feel like you just don't know me, because at the end of the day, I just want to share love. I want to share, I want to share growth. I want us to be able to work together. So I ain't gonna name nobody specific, the except for God, because all of this goes to Him. He gives me the vision. He gives me the wisdom, and He also connects me with the people.
All
So
right,
that's what
people.
I would say.
Thank you so much. So there you have it, listeners. You heard her for yourself. Beautiful Taria Vision Avant over there in Atlanta, Georgia. She was here as our book author, entrepreneur, and much more, including our TEDx speaker. She was here with us. And of course, you know where to find her. She's on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. Her website is www.taureavant.com. And of course, you can also check her masterclass out at www.10 as in number 10 kbook.com. Find her, get involved, get your book, get famous, get rich. She's here to assist you. Thank you so much, girl. Have a beautiful one. It was a pleasure having you with us on the Lady Tracy Show.
Thank you for having me.
All right.